Welcome back to another video. Now, I wasn't supposed to upload today. I actually made a YouTube post about it, and I'm gonna make a Discord announcement as to why that is the case. Join Discord if you haven't. But recently, IJL officially announced all of the teams' rosters heading into the summer. And as context, keep in mind there are now 8 teams. So back then, right, there was Fave. Now Fave has been replaced by DFM, and QT Dig or QTD will be joining them as the 8th team. And this video is meant to cover basically all the changes, which, by the way, a ton of changes. A lot of crazy stuff just happened in the past few minutes. I think I'm recording this video just basically an hour or less after they announced it. So if I get anything wrong, I'm going to put it in the comments. But I'm going to immediately start right here with the champions of KOA 8 Zeta Division. Not a lot of changes. There is one change. Silk is no longer the coach. There's still no announcement as to whether Silk has retired. I'm not sure. If there is, I'll put it on the screen. But replacing Silk will be Miraike from SZ. Now, Miraike was a hunter for Zeta at some point. They were the BO1 hunter alongside Alf. And during this KOA 8 qualifiers, he was in SZ. But there was a bit of underperformance on his end. And it seems as if he's going to be making the change to the coach now. So we are going to be seeing Miraike take that role from Silk. I wonder how he's going to work with a championship level team, because that's a lot of weight on your shoulders, right? Especially since I believe this is the first time Miraike is going to be coaching. So yeah, Zeta Division, definitely a lot of expectations on them. Really sorry if there's a dog barking in the background, but definitely a lot of expectations from Zeta Division. Now we head towards Axis Wave. Similar thing with Zeta Division, not a lot of changes. We do see that Lim is now from player to manager. So congratulations on Lim. We haven't seen Lim played in a while anyways. So to see that she's getting the manager position, that is honestly huge W on their end. And to replace Lim, they got former RC player Monopi to join Axis Wave. So yeah, very sorry if there's a dog barking in the background. I kind of have to record this as fast as I can to get this news out. Speaking of Reject Gaming, and now this is where things get very hot, very tense, very crazy. So Curry and Shota are no longer in this team. Shota was their hunter in the early days, but now it's officially goodbye for him. And Curry was the 4th for RC. After KOA 7 happened, they were trying to find a good 4th. They settled on Courier. Unfortunately, was not enough. So they made a couple of changes. So they got Unp now, who was in SST in KOA 5, if you do remember. And this is going to be very relevant. And was in FL until, I believe, 2024. So Unp, very OG player. He has been here for a while. We also got Fuku, who is a new player, and I believe he's basically the one replacing Monopi, because keep in mind, they lost both Courier and Monopi, so they are looking for 2 new survivors. But then you question, who's replacing Shota? And the answer is flippin' Alf. Alf is the hunter for Reject Gaming. Reject Gaming, okay, I'm confusing Fave Gaming with Reject. But you get the point, Alf is the hunter for Reject. They put a whole video on Reject's Twitter page just to show the absolute aura farming this team is making. Alf, the star hunter from Zeta Division, the hunter, basically the king that we were all expecting to return, makes a return and goes to Reject. So big changes for Reject there. All of a sudden they went from a team that plays top 12 to they might even win IJL. Like, that is how insane this change was. It's such a insane change, because Aka's performance was like, okay, but of course it's not the best that we've seen him, and Aka is growing a bit older by the day. So them getting a returning player, gonna be huge. So let's see if Alf can live up to the hype. Now we got AWG next. AWG didn't make a lot of roster changes. They lost Kairu, who is no longer in the team, but in exchange they did get MCO, who was FL Survivor basically for a majority of the time last year. So, it's not actually a really bad change. MCO is a solid survivor in my opinion. Of course, losing Kairu kind of sucks because I believe Kairu was also their IJL, so they kind of have to figure that out along the way. But definitely not a bittersweet end for AWG. They still have a solid survivor roster, they still have a solid hunter roster. So yeah, expect good things. Now we have FL. So Yuto will now be a content creator for them, so Yuto no longer participating in IJL. We have Cat from SC joining, and Cat has been in Fennel before. And we are also seeing that UGG officially changed his name to Ava GG or Ava GG, not sure how that is pronounced, but yeah, don't worry if you think UGG's not his team. No, he is still here, just going under a different name, Ava GG. So that is for FL. Kind of going over this quick because the next team, SC, is a team that had a ton of changes. So SC, let's start first with the one thing I already mentioned. So Miraike left SZ. He is now a coach at Zeta Division. It seems as if his performance during the KOA 8 was just somewhat underwhelming, and I'm not sure if it was his idea or SC's idea, but eventually that kind of caused him leaving SC. Speaking of that, Celia leaves SC. Celia was the coach for SC for a time, and now he is focused on content making. He is still a content creator under SC. So don't think that Celia is no longer an SC member. He technically is. He's just focused on the content. On the other side, Takoyaki also left. He joined one of the new teams. We will get to that just in a bit. And as previously mentioned, Kat left SC to join FL. So 4 players left. Alright, so that's a huge change, and they made a lot of moves to counteract with this. So first, Mone from SC makes a return. Mone was basically MIA for a period of time, but now he makes a return. So, for all the SC OGs out there, root for Mone. He's going to be making a return this IJL. On the other side, you also have new players, Yora and Tarako from Zero in KOA 8, making their debut this IJL 2025. Zero did pretty okay for a non-professional team in KOA 8 qualifiers. They, I believe, had some pretty close matches against some professional teams, so definitely something to look forward to. I believe this is also their debut. I don't think they've ever been to IJL before, but correct me if I'm wrong in that. We also have Yuri from NGS hunting for SC. This IJL seems to be that is Miraike's replacement. We know for a fact that Burio is a BO1 hunter, and I think Yuri is one of the Dream Witch mains that still remain in the Japan scene. So definitely going to be a very interesting change of pace here. Let's see if that adjustment goes over really well for their end. Meanwhile, 4-5, who was a survivor for them during the KOA qualifiers, he will be moving from survivor to coach this IJL, so he's going to be taking Celia's job. But yeah, definitely a lot of changes from SC. I've been seeing a lot of people talk about rejects changes. Again, of course, Alf being there is always going to be a big thing on their end. But honestly, SC's changes a bit underrated this season. I like all of them. Of course, I wouldn't have wanted to make so much survivor changes with the way their survivors were already doing pretty well last KOA qualifiers, but it is a new fresh pace, something that they kind of needed for a long period of time. Now we head into the two new teams this coming IGL. So we have DFN, who took Fave Gaming's slot. So most of their members are from Fave. So we see Apai, Felix, Narisu, Riz, Chicken, Yami, Kokua, all from Fave already before. But we're also seeing Takayaki from SZ is the one making the move to DFN. Not sure if that was a buyout of any sorts. Takoyaki did, I believe, have the highest rank last season. I think it was either him or UGG. So yeah, I mean, Takoyaki is a very solid pickup from the side of DFN. Now, QT Dig is next, and honestly, just as a heads up, it's really funny because I mentioned that for QT Dig, maybe their roster is going to be from GXG. I'll put a screenshot there of me making that prediction in like one of my Discord servers, and it seems as if that is the case. So QT Dig comprises of basically all of GXG's members: Emu, Mime, Nak, Zizi, Iron Hasu, Kotami, Mitake, and Kruger. Kruger we saw from Fave before. Mitake we've seen a bunch before. Kotami, I believe, was actually very close to making it to IJL last season, but I think no team eventually picked him up. But yeah, QD Dig, this is their time to prove. GXG didn't actually do that well last COA qualifiers, so hopefully this time around they can perform better. But yeah, big tough burden for QT Dig to try and claw their way here, to try to be a decent team. But I think they have what it takes, though. Tree Hunters, definitely interesting move. I do wonder who their manager is. But anyways, that is all for this video. I'm very sorry again if like there's so much background noise. I'm kind of recording this on the fly to get this uploaded as fast as possible. I will be making a video sometime next week before Friday, the video that I was supposed to upload today. I'm gonna try to get it uploaded earlier, but it is still, as I record this, it's still on recording phase. I'm still gonna have to edit it, so yeah, there's definitely some inconsistencies with the schedule, but hopefully I get it all sorted out. Anyways, if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. See ya.